started at 3. Tricked your asses.
That's two swears.
2 swears in the bank, baby. Those are free. You got to pay for them.
Or Tommy just has to start paying for the swears that they made.
Welcome back to the break room.
Oh, baby.
It's day 4 and we're feeling punchy, okay? This is our daily show that keeps you updated on just what's going on in nerd news from our very own break room here at the New Rock Stars HQ in beautiful downtown Burbank, California. Probably shouldn't give that much information.
You hella did. You hella did.
Maybe.
Maybe, perhaps,
This is
allegedly.
truly our break room, and this is our live show here at New Rock Stars, week 1. We're so happy to have you with us. Today, we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff. I mean, this is a crazy week in nerd culture.
Is it?
Moon Knight finale. Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Yes. We got an Obi-Wan trailer yesterday. We got a Game of Thrones prequel trailer today. Who knows what tomorrow will bring, okay? But some of the things we're going to be talking about today, we got more Moon Knight stuff. Obviously, we're all still decompressing, processing that finale. We've got a lot of topics to talk about. Karen Gillian maybe retiring as Nebula. Clickbaity tease. Christian Bale, maybe the best villain ever in the MCU.
What?
Black Adam, maybe getting delayed. And one of us maybe getting hacked.
Whoa.
Again.
All of that and so much more. We're mugging and chugging here in the New Rock Stars break room. And
I love Zach doing this.
I'm here with 3 of my best friends. Yes. We got Mr. Burbank himself, Tommy Bechtold.
What's up? It's Bobby Banks, Mr. Big Daddy Burbank Stacks. It's the man with the gator shoes
gosh.
playing the blues.
We got the councilwoman from North Hollywood.
Stop saying the cities.
Clemons.
I'm here tapping and capping.
Yeah.
And then, well, he's coming from West Hollywood adjacent. Technically Beverly Glen.
Yeah.
Brandon Barrett.
Tanner's on Fairfax.
I got
Fogo de Chao.
when I'm not eating at Lowry's Steakhouse and wearing my Epic Hero merch, I definitely shop at Clickbaity Tees. You know what I mean?
I get all my baby tees.
I get all my baby tees at Clickbaity Tees.
Oh, we are feeling good today. Speaking of feeling good, we appreciate you being here with us, blowing up the chat. We're going to have some polls. We're going to be asking you some questions. We love all the feedback. Obviously, if you feel like throwing in a super chat, love to you. Much appreciation. Thank you for that. We'll try to shout those out during the show. And we have another way you can participate in this show. If you want to throw a couple doubloons, a couple pesos, couple marks, whatever your francs, lira, whatever your regional currency might be, into the swear jar. Now, the break room swear jar, as it stands right now, is like a reverse swear jar. Normally, your mom makes you put $1 in the swear jar when you cuss. Instead, when we hit a certain dollar amount on our swear jar, that makes us cuss.
Yeah, we got some good ones cooked up for you.
Right. Tommy's been in the lab. He's been in the curse lab, and he's got some brand new ones he's ready to unveil.
Ooh, we ain't talking spells.
So you can do. Is it exclamation mark tips in the chat?
Just tip, I think.
And that will let you know how you can go about doing that exclamation mark tip. Wait, did you just say exclamation mark just the tip?
Just the tip.
Oh my
That shows you something very different in the chat.
Yeah, it'll be directed to my personal OnlyFans page. All tip, no shaft.
What?
Huh?
Excuse me? All tip, no shaft?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Let's move on. Intro host. Oh, we already did that. Sorry.
Oh my gosh. Well, as Zach is the one introducing us and hosting us, I'm the one that gets to read the headlines.
Oh,
baby. And we've got some answers. We got answers to The Mandalorian showing up so heavily in the Book of Boba Fett, which I think is a question we all kind of had watching the Book of Boba Fett. Like, why is The Mandalorian here?
Why is this just Mandalorian season 3 all of a sudden?
Yeah, it's so much. I mean, not saying I didn't like it. I really loved The Mandalorian in the Book of Boba Fett. So Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau felt it would be difficult to go the entire season without seeing Mando, seeing as Mando and Boba are friends.
That's true.
And everyone, and they also are like the not top build, but like Mandalorian is like the biggest thing in that franchise right
Huge
now.
hit.
The crown jewel.
It's the crown jewel.
It's the tip, not the shaft.
For sure. Well, you know, some people are more shaft heavy. The tip is.
Okay.
We're talking about golf clubs, right? I was talking about golf clubs.
A nice wedge.
Yeah.
My grandma's watching the show. Come on. I'm sorry, Mima. I'm sorry.
From
Sorry,
a farm
Mima.
in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Let's begin.
Stop giving away the addresses of my family members.
All right, well, let's be very specific. 315 Hertz Road.
Okay. Also, unfortunately, like Zach said at the beginning, Black Adam producers say the delay is happening due to the VFX, which I think happened also with Aquaman 2.
Yeah.
Happened with The Flash too, I think. They said.
What's going on with them?
Well, this feels like they're throwing the VFX guys under the bus.
Yeah.
But wasn't that also the justification given for the Marvels and Ant-Man flipping?
Oh, yeah.
That the Marvels VFX was taking a lot longer.
Yeah,
to do.
because the Ant-Man's VFX, you only have to do a little bit of. They're so small. It's so
little
much
baby
easier.
diarrhea.
And so you have to make the giant Hello Kitty Pez dispenser hitting a bunch of cars in
Oh,
the street.
no, you just take it. You make the regular size
I
Hello
heard-
Kitty and you stretch it
I
out
heard
in Photoshop.
Ant-Man 3 is going to be all practical.
It's all practical.
That'd be so funny. It's shrink.
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
God. But now
I like that.
we'll reenact that later. But now it has been pushed to October 21st instead of the July premiere was supposed to do.
Okay.
We got
so still
time.
this year. Still
Yeah,
Still
still this
coming
year.
in this year.
We're gonna
Good.
get it. It's a
just in
spooky
time for
flick.
my birthday.
I thought your birthday was in November.
It is.
Mark your calendar.
Still in time for his birthday.
Oh, okay, I guess. Taika Waititi said Thor: Love and Thunder has the best villain the Marvel Cinematic Universe has ever seen in Christian Bale.
What if it's
Okay.
just him? He means just him off. Yeah.
It could be just him on set,
Like,
right?
nobody destroyed more craft service than me.
I do love stories like these when they're all, I mean, this is a great press PR story where
Yeah.
it's like, oh, he's the best villain. What are they going to say? He's the third best villain we've ever had.
He's
honestly,
somewhere
Yeah.
near the middle of the pack.
He phoned it in pretty hard this time. We were hoping for something pretty great out of him. He's Christian Bale. He's won an Academy Award. by the way.
I will say we all love the meme or the footage of Benedict Cumberbatch's Smaug from The Hobbit, right? Doing the
Yes.
mocap suit
Yes.
and how hard he committed. And you know when the footage of Christian Bale doing mocap for Gore comes out, it will be the most intense mocap
Yes.
you've ever
And
seen in
he's
your
a
life.
guy. He's a method actor. He loses weight. He gains weight. I heard he went to heaven and killed God for this movie.
He got the biggest beard he could find, got very thin at first, got big again, climbed a mountain and touched the sky and said, I'm going to kill everyone.
I'm gonna kill God.
Right.
Taika was
I
like,
can't
where
wait
are
for
you?
this movie now.
Sony and Marvel Studios have made it so clear that they're going to make another Spider-Man movie starring Tom Holland, Zendaya, with John Watts directing.
Yes.
It hasn't been announced yet. It clearly has not been announced yet, though Marvel and Sony are hopeful to have them. There's no work just yet on what they might be doing.
Yeah, we our crack team over
Yeah.
here, the four of us,
Yes.
scouring the internet today trying to find like proof. Everyone's
proof,
talking
yeah,
about
like-
this fourth movie, and like Sony's very much like, oh yeah, we expect John Watson and
course.
Zendaya to come back in a very mafioso style way. Like you better show up for
But
the movie.
not the guy who plays Ned. We were actually hoping
Oh,
he does.
Jacob Batalon.
I wanna know.
It's one of the most profitable or largest grossing movies of all
Yeah,
time.
absolutely.
Of course they want to make
Yeah.
Well, and especially with John Watts dropping out of directing Fantastic
Yeah.
Four, I'm sure Sony's like, all right, let's claim this.
Yeah.
Also,
yeah.
he's
Gotta go
probably
on.
just taking that much needed break. Like,
Yeah.
how many,
Yeah.
how long was it since that first Spider-Man came out? And
It
there's
was like
been
6 years he did the 3 movies. within,
6
like,
years,
6
3 movies?
That's a lot.
That's
These
a
are-
lot.
These are huge movies. There's a ton of work. He probably just wants to take a break, do a rom-com, you know,
Honestly,
do an indie horror flick, come
Pull
back.
a
Call
Clint
us.
Eastwood.
We'll make a movie with you, John. Come out here. Make a movie in our studio.
The Breakroom, the movie.
Break room.
Oh.
Breaking all the rooms.
All tip, no
Just-
shaft.
all tip no. I'm in.
Sorry, Mima.
I'm sold. Sorry, Mima.
I just want to point out, we are up to $4.20 in this week.
Oh, okay.
I assume that was from one donor.
Yeah,
Thank
tip him if you got him, ladies and
Thank
gentlemen.
you, Stoney Magoo.
$4.20.
We'll be packing up those swear bongs and blazing them in no time.
Oh God. Speaking of bongs, Karen Gillan rapped as Nebula in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 in a very heart-wrenching post, which I don't know if we do have. There it is. It's so sad, the hand on the chair. In the post, she says, I don't know if Nebula will return beyond this. It's possible that this is her final chapter. Is this her final chapter because James Gunn mentioned, like, they're not doing any more Guardians.
Well, they said he's kind of said like this iteration of the Guardians will be done.
Yes.
So in
This
theory,
iteration.
some of them could come back,
Yeah.
some of them could go away, but like, and it sounds like he's kind of done telling this story.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to do the Guardian stuff anymore, but he still loves doing these superhero things. I mean, loves the Peacemaker
at this
stuff.
point, it will have been 3 full movies, a holiday special. They also appeared in
Infinity War, Endgame,
Infinity War,
Thor.
Endgame. They will be in Thor: Love and Thunder, right? That's a lot for this cast and that director, right? Maybe they do feel like this could be a nice end to the story.
I would say, given her off-screen kind of real-life personality and persona, I would be shocked if Karen Gillan would turn down the opportunity to play Nebula. She seems to really enjoy this type of, fantasy, science, superhero, comic book type material. So, and I would imagine with a character that interesting, if there's a chance to bring her back in, like, Captain Marvel
100%.
or the Marvels or something like that, or anything in space, she's probably going to say yes, and they'll be lucky to have her. She's great.
I think that's what the meaning of her post was, is like, might be the end for me, just because it's like when the other movies come out, we will probably see her again. I hope that's the first person they snatch. She's one of my favorite characters. Nebula is an icon. Okay, so Moon Knight director, and I'm so sorry, might butcher this name, Mohammed Diab? Mohammed Diab?
I like it.
I will try,
Works for me.
and I'm sorry for butchering. Revealed 2 major cameos were cut from the show during scripting. People clearly heavily expected the Hulk, Sharon Carter, Blade, Werewolf by Night. I want to know what the chat thinks, but I want to do something fun also.
Oh, okay.
I want to assign you guys one of these.
Okay.
And I want to hear your take on what this was the person, how they would show up in Moon Knight. Zach, I'm going to give you Sharon Carter.
Sharon Carter. Well, we know she's a world traveler, right? She's connected to criminal networks all over the world. There's a decent chance, right? We only got hints of Mark as Moon Knight, him out there killing bad guys, right? We saw a lot of his victims as kind of zombified afterlife creatures, right? But we can assume through her underworld connections, maybe Moon Knight and Sharon Carter crossed paths. Maybe Moon Knight killed some of Sharon Carter's henchmen.
Or Sharon and Jake.
Oh, maybe Sharon and Jake,
Sharon and Jake.
maybe had some interaction, something like that. So maybe there could have been a flashback, to that. Oh, that night in Sydney, or that mission in Bangkok, or whatever, right? And we see an overlap, Mark wrecking shop.
Wait a second. T. Michael Bechtold wants to talk to you about optioning that.
That's a deep cut for the real one.
That's a reference to a show that never aired. Tommy has an alternate. He has an alter that is a studio executive in Hollywood.
He'll be here, don't worry. He'll be here next week.
That's a taste of things to come.
Something tells me T. Michael will be here next week.
Well, you did mention the Layla with some Madripoor type stuff. Yeah, I think that's where like Sharon definitely could have like
So
played
it might
into
have
it,
been
right?
That's better. You just made my idea better. Thank
I'm
you.
going to give you,
I'm
going to give you the Hulk.
The Hulk. Okay, well, I'm going to give you my pitch in honor of the King of Mexicans, who gave us $20 and asked us to say his name.
I thought you were pointing to Dashiell.
Dashiell.
And I was like,
the
first
King
off, I
of
don't think
Mexicans.
Dashiell-
No, King of Mexicans, thank you for your $20 tip or contribution. Thank you for saying you love us. We love you too, of course. And I appreciate you being hella grateful. I'm hella grateful for you, King of Mexicans. And you know what else I'm hella grateful for? The fact that this Hulk pitch is still out there in the ether somewhere, because I think the Layla, looking for answers, searching for some Egyptian, some science irregularities going on in Egypt, seeks out some of the great science minds in our world. And we have a depowered Bruce Banner sitting in a council of minds of people that have been like looking at different energy things that have been coming out of the pyramids and showing up in Egypt and all across the world with Harrow rapturing people with his cane, and you just kind of get a Bruce Banner like, I don't know, I've seen a lot of weird stuff in my life, and then cut to the last episode where Bruce is aware that there's stuff going on in Egypt. He senses all of these. He's with the technology that the Avengers have, he senses the irregularities, and when the big fight's happening, all of a sudden you just see one of those tourist buses from the TV show, because they love running a bus, flip up in the air, And then he just looks around and he sees Jake Lockley has murdered like 35 people, and he just goes, Hulk, leave now. And then he leaves. And then he turns around and leaves.
Because they had like an $80 CGI budget for Hulk, so he could only just show up and then leave.
Hulk not participating.
And leave. And I'm going to, last but not least, I'm going to give you Blade.
Blade, oh, okay, okay. Blade, I think I would have loved, the situation happens at the museum with the Jackal ride, the bathroom getting destroyed.
Oh, yes.
Steven goes to the security guard who's like RJ or DJ or something. He had a initials name. JD, thank you. I was so close. Producer
Thank you,
John.
Director John.
Thank you, John. Thank you so much, John.
All that happens, they review the footage. Ha ha ha, it's nothing. You're crazy, mate. Right. Steven goes in the office to talk to the boss who gives him like a very nice boss who gave him like healthcare information and was like, get help, buddy. But then we cut back to the station and DJ's still working there or whatever, or JD, I already forget what John said.
Oh, God.
JD. And then we hear a voice. We hear, I need to take a look at that footage. Because Blade's worried that it's a vampire wandering around.
Okay.
And then shout out to our one of our favorite hosts here that we haven't seen in a while, but we hope to see her soon, Marina Mastros. He looks at the footage and goes, some motherfucker's always trying to ice skate uphill.
The damn jar wasn't there yet.
Oh, God dang it.
Also, what is that a reference?
That's from
Blade Trinity.
That's Wesley Snipes' Blade.
Oh my God. And I think in
Great
Werewolf
stuff.
by Night, there's just gonna be an epic fight scene with the werewolf. Changing by the Moon.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
truly like, I don't know what's happening. And Mark's like, I gotta kill you.
That would have been perfect at like when they're at Midnight Man's compound or whatever.
Oh.
And like, Steven lines up to fight somebody and the guy's standing there and the clouds move away and you see it's a full moon and he's like,
100%.
Well, and they could even, they could retcon it because Midnight Man is like, I collect all kinds of crazy artifacts. Maybe he has some kind of magical werewolf amulet or something like that, right?
True, real talk. I think I want to hear if everybody else agrees with us, but I also want to hear if there's a different cameo you guys might think. It doesn't have to be Werewolf by Night. It doesn't have to be Blade. Doesn't have to be Hulk. Doesn't have to be Sharon Carter. It could be anyone.
Maybe this is a chance for a little mini poll of those four.
Yeah.
Who do you guys think was most likely to appear?
Truly, I like this Blade one the most. But I also just love Blade. Another one from Mohammed, the director, for Moon Knight, also mentioned that he'd love to take Moon Knight next to the big screen. He said we could journey into the different lives of different characters in the MCU, but also seeing more Jake and Layla, which I think we all would like, and I also think that would make a great movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's so much Moon Knight stuff coming up. Oscar Isaac said he'd be happy to come back for season 2.
Brave.
He better.
Brave.
I was like, he better.
Bold take.
He said, I love being Steven. I just
love
love
money.
it. It's just like physically, it's so much fun to be him.
Yeah, and you know what? He didn't physically get to be as much Moon Knight. It was kind of an origin story, and he spent a lot of time. I bet he'd love to be in that suit a little bit more, punching and kicking.
I mean, I'm still blown away in the scenes where he switches from like Mark to Steven. There's no cut.
Yes.
It's just him like doing it. It's great.
For an actor, I'd be like, this is a great deal of just like testing your skills, and they love doing that. Also, this is definitely different from Ex Machina for him. That's always the first thing I think of him in.
Oh, I think of Inside Llewyn Davis.
Yeah.
Dear Mr. Kennedy. Uh-oh.
Oh, the Inside Llewyn Davis fans going wild in the chat. Going
Come on,
wild
that
in the
had
chat.
Kylo Ren, Justin Timberlake, and Moon Knight all in one song.
Yeah.
And lastly, Moon Knight season 2 is still up in the air. I know that I've tweeted about it. Everyone's talking about it. They never discussed making a season 2, and when asked, they said that they're kept in the dark just like us fans.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Only
said
Feige
never.
knows the truth.
Only Feige.
Only Feige knows the truth.
Speaking of Moon Knight.
Speaking of Moon Knight, we should do our like finale roundtable, I think, for Moon Knight, and that's gonna be part of our Breakroom breakdown today. We have a clip from the breakdown that got posted to the channel today that Eric worked very hard on. He did such a good job. We gave him a little treat for being such a good little boy.
A Wookiee cookie?
A Wookiee cookie.
Thank God again that it's a Wookiee cookie.
But there was a very interesting part of the breakdown I thought we could talk about here today on the show. John, roll that clip for us, please.
Let's Stephen wakes up in Harrow's office where they now see the blood pooling from his sandals. The implication might be that Harrow's feet in the series were always bleeding, but Mark, Stephen, all of us did not see it until now. But this office, I believe, is not real. Not like the rest of the hospital that we saw in episode 5. The hospital was their perspective of the Duat underworld ship. Rather, this room is their organizing principle representing their subconscious self-doubt. So last episode, they would suddenly teleport back to this room when one of them suffered a mental break. So this Ned Flanders is not Harrow, it's the embodiment of doubt that Harrow's antagonism represents for them. And now that they see Harrow as a bleeding mortal he truly is, they are no longer trapped under their doubt's control,
Also,
they control it.
Here's my hand, I can see the chat.
Yes, Dark Sea TRD asking, are we reading chat? We are reading chat.
Mega Math Game.
We got a lot of work to do.
That's a funny way, that's a real pick-me move, okay?
Yeah.
And I picked you.
You got picked.
We fell right for it. Michael Adams' Gore was right. We don't even know the movie hasn't come out yet. We don't know what's right or wrong.
That's what I wanted to talk about with you guys. Like, what is real on this show? What was actually
I
real?
like the way you explained this to me, because I gotta be honest, maybe I'm dense, maybe it's my public school education. Even after watching Eric's video, I'm not sure that I fully could wrap my head around it. But then you did explain it pretty well.
Yeah, so kind of think of, if you remember the movie Inception, that's another way to think of it, dreams within dreams.
Yeah.
So, when they're in the hospital, the psych ward in the last 2 episodes, right? That is the manifestation.
And we say they, that's Stephen and Mark.
Stephen.
Yeah.
When they're in the bingo area and they're going to the rooms of the sarcophaguses, right? That's all real in the sense that it's part of the afterlife, which is real on this show, right? That exists. It's a place you can physically go. Anything in Harrow's office, where it's just Harrow talking to Jake or Stephen or Mark, that's all within the mind of Mark/Stephen.
Within the afterlife.
Within the afterlife.
So it is as if you are having a daydream while being in heaven.
It's a construct of like Harrow, and this is what Eric is saying, like Harrow is their own self-doubt, like that they are crazy and none of this is real and like they can't be trusted and blah, blah, blah.
Which is kind of a beautiful concept if like the thing that is the dream within a dream is simulating not being in a dream at all.
Wow.
Right? And so what Eric is saying is like everything we saw in the show was real, except for anything that takes place in that office within the psych ward.
Yeah.
But I still think, and he was talking about this on his breakdown for episode 5, that like some of those memories aren't real. Like when Mark is standing outside of the house in Chicago and like there's one taxi that passes by, but no people on the street. The street's walled off. It almost looks like a set. I mean, it was obviously filmed on a set, but it looks so much like a set.
Yes, yeah.
Like I think, and like the whole cave scenario could be fake. Like that could be something that was planted in Mark's mind to make him weary. We talk about some of these on Rogue Theory, which you'll see tomorrow, but yeah, some crazy stuff. I think there's more not real stuff on this show.
I agree.
Wow. I'm so confused.
I know.
It is so hard to wrap my head around. So you 3 go on.
Well, and then I was just gonna say, one thing that confused me upon initial watching, but again, Brandon explained it to me a little better. But then when we see actual Arthur Harrow in an asylum at the end of episode 6, you know, when he gets in they break him out and he goes in the limousine or whatever. Yeah. That's real. Right. That's not the afterlife asylum. No, that's an actual like London asylum. Right. Now, how we got to London, we're not sure. Right.
But and him seeing the sand in the cup, I don't know if we as the audience are seeing what Harrow is seeing and his mind is starting to crack, because he's had a god put inside of his body.
Right, or is that Amit messing with him?
Or is Amit messing with him?
Oh.
You know?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Maybe an attempt to remind him, because he's probably, like, the way we saw Mark and Stephen getting pretend drugged in their subconscious or in their, you know, whatever, in their doubtful mind or whatever.
The needle, right?
We can assume that Arthur Harrow is getting real life sedated as a violent man who just attempted to kill the majority of the people in Cairo.
And if you believe that no one could see the giant Amit, right? You just assume Arthur Harrow is the one taking his soul.
Right.
Jesus Christ. So are you saying...
He's not involved in this at all.
Cinco de Mayo. So are you saying that... the place that Arthur Harrow is in the hospital is in Stephen and Mark's mind?
No, it's in reality.
That's in reality.
Oh, you mean when he's in the office with the mustache?
Wait, when did he have a mustache?
Arthur Harrow's
Oh, when he's the doctor.
Did you watch the show?
No, when he's the doctor, I'm thinking of the end when he does it.
No,
When he knocks
in the
over
end, that's
sand
all
cup.
real. We are thinking beyond maybe the sand coffee
Okay.
cup.
Yeah.
Because wasn't there? Well, I guess Mark and Steven always appeared in that room. I thought they were taken from that first room to that room where we saw them playing bingo. So is that part also a part of Arthur Harrow's mind?
We see he always cuts to the office.
It cuts to
We don't
the
see them,
office?
like,
Okay.
walk
I
into
thought
the
he got,
office.
like,
And it's
taken.
usually when he's having like some sort of chaos going on within the hospital. It'll like cut to the office, and it's like, hey, you were just imagining that, but you're not. Like,
Someone commented, Jess is all of us right now. So Jess, you're not alone.
Yes.
You're not alone here.
It's
like
meant
at
to be
this point-
confusing. It's meant to be an unreliable narrator,
at
right?
the end of the
Need a
show,
pen and paper.
Amit is not using Harrow as an avatar. Amit is inside,
Trapped inside of him,
trapped inside of him.
like he's a clay statue.
And Amit
which
doesn't care for
that gets us to another question we wanted to ask, right? We see Jake with his silencer
Right,
pistol
right.
pop off a couple rounds in the general direction of Arthur Harrow. We can assume he's a good shot. Do we think that means Harrow and by proxy Amit are both kaput, finito, dead forever?
Yes, I was wondering about this too because I was like, if you kill Harrow, can Amit get out? Now, if Amit is still trapped inside of Harrow at that point,
Yes.
and we've been told by the rules of the show that like you can harm a god if they're inside the body of a human.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally got that
You
line.
can literally do that. We literally got
And they're
that
made
line.
flesh.
If you
Yeah.
shoot him, dead. Because remember,
He farts.
Conchu wanted to kill Harrow right away using Mark/Steven, and they were like, no, we're not going to do it. We're not going to kill him.
I won't kill him.
I won't do
I
it.
won't do
I won't
it.
do it.
I'm going to be a bad
Don't
boy
do
now.
it. Don't do it.
All of our European fans being like, get out.
It's way too late for any UK
Yeah,
viewers.
the
I think
UK
we're.
viewers that do like me. They tweet me and tell me my accent is atrocious.
And those are the ones that like you.
Those are the ones that like me, and I
We
try.
don't care what you think about that.
The only British things I have are like Oliver Twist, so I don't really have to work
Please,
with.
sir. Margaret.
Someone.
Oh, they're loving it. They're loving it. So if Harrow is dead, if Jake's a great shot, like old Zachy Boy said, do you think we'll ever see him again?
Yes.
Well,
No.
Here's what I'll say. The nice benefit of the Marvel Disney Plus shows being PG-13, maybe even a little softer, right, is they have to show a lot of these deaths off screen,
Yeah.
right? You don't see a bullet going through the forehead of Arthur Harrow or something like that.
Yeah.
So it leaves just a little bit of ambiguity there.
Sure.
Because what if Ethan Hawke comes to Feige's office and is like, listen, I was in Boyhood.
Yeah.
I did School Ties.
I was in the Sunset Sunrise trilogy.
The OG Purge.
I gotta be Arthur Harrow
Okay,
again.
but the
Gattaca.
role I was meant to play was Arthur Harrow.
Harrow.
You know they could bring him back. They could
Please.
justify it.
Someone in the chat said Arthur Harrow is daddy, and then followed up with Steven is daddy, and both of those are incorrect.
Well, I got
I just want to be
daddies on
clear
this.
about
I got
it.
bad news for you. Tommy is daddy because it's time for mandatory fun.
What? No!
It's mandatory fun, baby!
No!
I talked over the graphic. Hit it again.
Oh, no,
In the
you're
graphic.
Such a good graphic.
Yes, this is my time where I make my 3 best friends. Join me in a little non-optional joy. We're having fun now. Every day we do mandatory fun. It's not voluntary fun, otherwise it would just be me up here, and these 3 would be going to get a donut and a water. It's mandatory fun. All right. Today we're looking fondly back at Moon Knight as we have all episode, specifically our predictions.
Oh, okay.
Now, before we get into what we predicted on this very show, Tuesday, I want you guys to look back at all of the predictions that you made about Moon Knight over the last 6 weeks, and maybe just give me your biggest whiff or your greatest sniff.
Oh, I'm gonna fart right now.
My biggest whiff, which I wanted to be a sniff.
Yeah.
You know, some of you out there know we've been working on this show very hard. You might think they slapped this piece of crap together in 2 seconds, but no, this took a lot of hard work, a lot of practice. We did some practicing throughout the whole run of Moon Knight. We were making all these predictions.
Yes.
One I stuck by that I really thought we were gonna get.
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna get some butt cheek.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
He
You
got
know,
a cheek.
Disney Plus, they've implemented parental guidance control.
Yeah.
They got codes on there now.
Yes.
They got Kingpin smashing a head in a door. We can see that, but we can't see some good old American butt.
We got Jessica Jones and Luke Cage going
Yeah,
hard in the
hard.
paint.
Hard.
getting.
Do you get a little butt cheek? You get a little Luke Cage butt cheek in that
You don't
scene,
get.
don't you?
You get a ham hock.
You get it.
I
You get a wedding cake.
I thought we were for sure gonna see Oscar Isaac's butt on this show. I thought in Egypt when you walked to the window, I was like, this is the moment. It's happening.
We can get Oscar Isaac butt and a lot of other things.
Well,
right?
that's what I mean. But
It's
I
not the
want it-
same if it doesn't have a Disney art.
I need MCU canon Oscar Isaac
Well,
butt.
along that same line of total stupid minutia that I was hoping for, you know, the majority of the series set in the Middle East. I guess a lot in London and then a lot in the Middle East. And though we got Layla eating some like Turkish delight multiple times, I was hoping for hummus.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I was grappling for baba
This guy
ganoush.
loves chickpeas.
Okay, I was tickling for tabbouleh. Okay, I wanted some great
You
Middle
were
Eastern
groveling
food.
for grape leaves.
That's right. I was mooching for mezza. Okay, I just wanted.
Stop him. Someone stop him.
You were pandering for pita.
I was convention for kebab. Okay, I just wanted some Middle Eastern food showcased on this scene, on this show, right?
We did get a great scene in the finale. There's a whole family. They're sitting
Oh,
for
yeah.
dinner.
It gets
and
blown up.
away.
Yeah.
And I needed some slow-mo passes on that food, okay?
yeah.
I wanted to see the little pools of olive oil with a little
That's what you
paprika
wanted
sprinkled on
the
top.
end
Okay.
credits to be, just like close-ups of
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I think my biggest whiff was that the security guard JD had a bigger involvement. I was on I was on Big Question, I was on Rogue Theory, I was on this show, and I'm like, no, you guys don't understand. It's all about JD. It's always been JD. This is JD's show. And Mark Spector's just living in it. And turns out that guy just made about $2,000 to be a co-star.
He didn't even make it. Did he make it as one of the cameos in the asylum later when the boss lady did? We didn't see him.
I don't think so.
Poor guy.
All right, Jessica, anything for you?
No, none of mine were bad.
All right, fine.
Get out of here.
All right, then we're going to get into our official break room predictions in a little segment we like to call Aged Like Wine, Aged Like Milk. Which ones were delicious, which ones curdled and could not be turned into butter or cottage cheese. So let's start with the ones that we got right, because some of us got some really good predictions right. I only got one prediction close to right, so I'll go first. I said that Steven would be back in the finale in relatively quick fashion, and I would say it's fair to say he was back pretty
And
quick.
featured pretty prominently in the finale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, what about you, Zach?
I literally got none of my predictions correct.
Yeah.
I predicted this show would tie in to Secret Invasion. No hint of that. No Skrulls showing
we
up.
don't know that yet.
That's true.
Fair. But,
JD, I heard, was a Skrull.
Yeah.
okay, we all know
JD
it.
turns the corner immediately.
I predicted Steven would not show up. He was there, very much so. I predicted, now I got kind of close. I predicted Layla would resurrect Mark through Khonshu. She did it through Tawaret, as Jessica rightly predicted. And then what was the fourth thing we had to predict?
We had to predict.
It was like wasn't there like the wild card?
The twist. What was the
twist.
twist?
Oh, and I think my twist was that, Mark was Bushman. Now,
That might still be
maybe
right.
Jake was Bushman.
Yeah. Which
Maybe
would count,
Jake was
which would
Bushman.
count.
So we don't know that one yet.
All
The
right.
only one I got right, sort of, my twist was that like Jake was the alpha.
I think that's fair.
The alpha personality.
You can keep lying
like,
to yourself.
I think he's the alpha, and Tommy supports this.
I
And that,
don't.
like,
I don't.
Khonshu's with him, and he's like, I wanted Jake the whole time. I don't care about you other two. But I was thinking that like Jake was the initial personality too, maybe, and that Mark and Steven were both creations.
And maybe the whole backstory about the little brother in
it's
the
all
cave.
fake.
Wow.
I think Khonshu did.
Jake killed.
I think Khonshu tweaked that story a little bit.
real talk.
Because I
I
like
do
the
too.
idea that like Jake wasn't, Jake was actually the personality of like the little brother,
yes.
and there was no real little brother.
Yes.
And Khonshu wanted Mark to think that the personality of Jake was gone, so he manifested it as like a little brother and made up this scenario where he drowns in a cave.
All right, okay, so now it's time for Jessica to brag, because
Yeah,
Jessica
Jessica really killed
her prediction. So in the final Aged Like Wine, Jessica, go off and tell us how wonderful.
She's a delicious Chablis.
That's right.
She's a tangy Merlot.
Yeah, she's a Moscato.
I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take this freaking roller coaster and I'm gonna put it back on the tracks. I think, or what I said was that Layla comes back as Tawaret,
Called
which
it.
I got right. I also said the biggest twist was Khonshu is Jake. And I said, basically, Khonshu is with Jake. So, who also got that right. I don't want to hear Brandon's it's the alpha.
He's the alpha.
I said it correct. I was like, Conchu was Jake. That's the twist. And also, not to be that person, but mine is actually a twist. Mine was the end credits. Mine was the post-credit scene twist. Okay. Yours was not.
You're being that person. You're being that person.
You're gonna have some bruises on your back from all that patting, little lady. All right, now we got to get to some of the more shameful portions of our predictions in the aged like milk. I, for one, predicted an Eternals crossover that had no chance of happening. Zach, anything you're a little ashamed of?
I pretty much labeled all my milk. It is spilt, it is curdled, it is rancid.
Well, as they say in Real Housewives of the Potomac, why cry over spilt milk when you can laugh over champagne, baby? Brandon, any spilt milk for us?
I spilled some. I said the crossover would be like Black Panther.
Oh,
and then
Bast.
I so thought
it was in the elements.
I was hard on Harrow being Anubis.
Yes.
I thought for sure Harrow was Anubis.
That's true.
I'm mad that we didn't see Anubis, and I kept saying, that's my shit.
I do want to call out that we had a super chat from our friend Vera Morris. I really wish someone broke all the gods.
Yes, I was going hard for that also in my predictions.
But there was some destruction of that temple. Even after Layla gets out of that room with them.
If they break accidentally because the ceiling collapsed,
I think that counts.
The gods still get released.
I was also getting mad because Layla, unlike me, I feel like a 10-year-old in any kind of shopping aisle where I want to knock over all the ketchup on my shirt. And I was like, girl, you are putting your hand gently on each of them. You can just...
Yes, knock them all down. Knock it down, knock it down, knock it down.
Also, I guess if the building collapsed on it, do they still break?
Let's hope so. That's what we're hoping for, a big release. Yeah. And then also that happened in the show. I want to call out a couple of our super chatters. Moises Martin, $9.99. Absolutely love y'all. Can I get a hell yeah? Hell yeah! Allison Becker, you guys could do this a little earlier, please. 1 a.m. in Norway. We can't even get this shit on the road at 3. What are you thinking, Allison? We can't even do this at the time we say we're gonna. All right, now, we have to bring this home because John is crying in the control booth.
Director John.
There's a winner and there's a loser to this, okay?
Okay.
The winner who had the most correct predictions and I think just overall nailed the show was Jessica.
Yeah, good job.
There is also a loser. Now, Zach, you claim you got none right, but really you had elements of multiple predictions correct, whereas one person had absolutely nothing correct, and that was me. I had nothing right, so we decided off camera that the punishment for this is that I will now become Jessica's avatar. And Jessica can command me to do something. And she says she has a really devious thing, and I'm very nervous about what it is. So to end mandatory fun, I hope in a fun way, Jessica's gonna tell me what I have to do now.
I'm gonna do something weird. I'm gonna make it weird in here, but also hot. I want you to go to Twitter.
Oh God.
I want Tommy to go to Twitter. Everybody go follow Tommy.
I gotta get my phone.
I think Tommy's Twitter is the Christmas boy.
It's at Tommy
Bechtold on Twitter.
Your name is just the Christmas boy.
If you're not already following Tommy Bechtold, what are you doing?
This is not just a long con to get more followers.
But right now, this will show you that the show's live. Go to Twitter. Follow
I'm on Twitter.
Tommy Bechtold.
I want you in your best Tommy way, because I know I can say this, but I want you to say it, and I want to approve of it when you say it.
Okay.
I want you to ask for feet pics.
Oh no.
And the way I want you to ask for feet pics is I want you to end it with yum yum.
Okay. Okay.
And if you're out there in the chat and you have a pet, maybe take a picture of your pet's feet. Send them to Tommy.
Send a picture of yours.
No, I don't want people to feel
You may want to avoid Tommy's mentions for a couple minutes.
If you want to send your feet, you can, but don't feel obligated to.
Yes.
Send your pet's feet. Send your neighbor's feet.
While Tommy types that up, I do want to go through the poll we ran earlier about what cameo would you have liked to have seen in Moon Knight. Weirdly, 100% feet.
Wait, what? Wow. Oh, you're joking. I was like, what?
Blade was the top vote getter. 39% wanted to see Blade cameo there.
Hell yeah.
Brandon did a good pitch there. Kang got 27%.
I was on the Kang train.
Kind of hinted. Punisher at 18%. I feel like there is a strong and passionate Punisher fan base out there that really wants him to show up.
I used to do the Marvel role-playing game, and I would be Punisher, and my friend would be Moon Knight, and we would always form an alliance. And one time we formed one with Wolverine called 3 Dog Night. Is this interesting content?
Did you finish that tweet? I want to see it.
We did. All right, this is what I wrote. I said, calling all foot friends. Please send me pics of your tantalizing tootsies. Yum, yum.
Yes. And then hashtag like.
Hashtag NR Breakroom.
Use the hashtag NR Breakroom.
Okay. And I just want to mention to my family and my girlfriend and everyone else watching this now, this is because I have to.
No, wait. Can you take a picture of yourself, like a selfie, also with attention?
This is why you're never becoming avatar for anyone.
Oh, God. I need to be released. Got you.
Oh my God.
Oh, no.
I want everyone to know it's real.
We did have another super chat. I'm going to butcher this name. My apologies. Jorge Quiros,
maybe?
said, thanks for all your hard work. You're the best. Hi from Costa Rica. Hello.
Pura Vida.
It's sent out. I'll let you know how the responses are going.
He also said, by the way, I think we got our first view of Jake when Steve blacked out in the Alps and recovered the scarab from the Harrow clan, which would make a lot of sense. It was so bloody. And we never got confirmation if that was Mark.
That was kind of before Mark and Steve were really talking to each other.
Before we even had,
make a lot of sense.
Yeah. So I like that.
Good job, Jorge.
Good job.
Pura Vida. You have a lovely country. I've been to Costa Rica once, had a great time.
I've never been, but I've been told by the FBI I can travel out of the country soon. So look for me in Costa Rica.
I like you need to pre-apologize to your family for that tweet, but you're fine making jokes like that. Okay. Oh, we got a couple quick things, and then we're going to talk about House of the Dragon. That trailer we saw that we love, and we're very excited for Game of Thrones again. But real quick, I'm modeling some Epic Hero Shop merch. Brandon also.
I got a hoodie.
I had a Mandalorian
shirt
on earlier, but I spilled a chicken quesadilla from Taco Bell on it.
Fair. They are great shirts. They're not necessarily quesadilla proof.
Brandon, settle.
There is a new, this just dropped today, a Multiverse of Madness latest Obsession shirt currently available for sale. There it is in the Epic Hero Shop, New Rockstars merch. I think it's called Shattered Madness. It's a very cool design with kind of like a Doctor Strange with kind of like a big shatter in the middle that almost looks like his heart is kind of exploded, and then in the middle of that there's Wanda. Anyways, it's a great shirt. Grab that. We're already getting some rough responses on Twitter.
The results are rolling.
We got a pause.
I didn't notice this until someone in the chat said people are actually submitting.
Oh no! This is the worst.
Okay.
Tommy doesn't like
Tommy
feet,
really hates feet, you guys.
Oh my God, my foot friends.
My Tootsie Soldiers.
Okay, as we quickly pan to. So today,
sorry, Zach.
No, quite all right. We've gotten teasers before, but we got our first full trailer for House of the Dragon, the upcoming HBO Game of Thrones prequel series starring Matt Smith, Patty Considine, Rhys Ifans, a lot of other English actors. They got everybody that wasn't in the original Game of Thrones.
Hornsby Huckleside.
Yeah, that's right.
Crimson Contangerous.
Is this a result of Brexit? Did they keep out any other actors who are not in the UK?
But I believe, John, are we going to watch the trailer? Okay, that's a risk we're willing to take. For you, the fans, even though we might get copyright stricken, we're going to roll that beautiful trailer.
What is this brief mortal life, if not the pursuit of legacy?
I, Rickon Stark.
I, Corlys Velaryon. I, Ormond Baratheon.
Promise to be faithful to King Viserys and to his named heir,
Princess Rhaenyra.
Rhaenyra Targaryen.
Men would sooner put the realm to the torch than see a woman ascend the Iron Throne.
We play an ugly game. You have the determination to win it.
History does not remember blood.
back. You know what it's like? You have a bad breakup with a girlfriend or boyfriend or whoever, and you're like, I can't believe how bad things ended. And then you don't see them for a couple years, and then all of a sudden they post like a picture on Instagram of them like at a fair with their hair blowing in the wind, eating like a popcorn, and you're like, God, I miss her. And that's what that trailer was for me. I was like, I'll never watch Game of Thrones again.
Well, I gotta say, I love that trailer. Now, I was not as pissed. I was a huge Game of Thrones fan. I was not as pissed about the ending as a lot of folks. I enjoyed the overall experience.
Yes.
I'm ready for more content. I will say this. This series, we were talking about this in the office earlier after watching the trailer for the first time. It could be the perfect solution to whatever your problems were with Game of Thrones, right? This is set several hundred years before the events of the 8 seasons of Game of Thrones, right? So none of these characters are still alive when Game of Thrones happens, right? And so they could die, they could live. This is based on a book. The book, what was it? The book?
Fire and Blood.
Fire and Blood is the book. So this has been published. They're going to follow kind of the George R.R. Storyline, but like, they can kind of reset. None of that bad taste in your mouth that you had from Game of Thrones.
I just realized who could still be alive is the Red Woman. Because she's kind of
she's sick as heck.
She could be there. There's no reason
Bring
why we
her
couldn't get
back.
the Red Woman there.
Well, and yeah, we could see some characters, or even like what we are definitely going to see is a lot of people's great-great-great-great-grandfathers and grandmothers, right? Because we know there's Starks, we know there's Baratheons, and we know there's a whole lot of Targaryens,
That's right.
The white wig budget on this show, was high.
And like the Lannisters exist right now. They're not as big yet, but they're like coming into what they're going to become. Because the Targaryens have been in charge for like 100 years at this point. Which we're not used to on Game of Thrones that we know, where it was constant switching of
They were running around. The Targaryens were
this is like one
family
family in charge for a long time because they got the Dragos.
And it's so nice to find. I'm seconding what you said. It's so nice to see this way before Game of Thrones because it's like, oh, I feel so bad. I feel so bad. And then it's like, well, now you get to see up close and personal what they did.
Well, and this is what I've always wanted from like Star Wars, right? It's to get really far away from what we know, either further in the future or go way back in the past. Like 100%. Like the game Knights of the Old Republic was so fun because it didn't involve anyone. It was all new characters, all new people. So while these characters have been established through histories in the books and the book itself, it is nice to be like, oh, these are a whole new set of characters.
The writing must have been the hardest thing in the world with this, because they had to go back and remember, like, well, we can't because this family does this, this, that. They had to get like Game of Thrones like fans to write, like help research this.
And you know, like, it's gonna be cool because we know this is building up to. Also, one thing when you watch the trailer closely, the cool thing about the trailer is it's covering a lot of time. Like there are actors with like completely different haircuts and different shots, and like there are different actors playing the same character like 10 years later. And so like we know we kind of all the Game of Thrones seasons were kind of in real time. There were like micro kind of time jumps.
They jumped like a little bit,
But like this looks like maybe this very first season is going to cover a big span of time, right? From when some characters are children jumping to them being adulthood. So that's cool. It's a different storytelling style than we got in Game of Thrones. And this is all building up. We know this show, this series, is going to build up to the Dance of Dragons, which was like a Targaryen civil war. So we're going to get some dragon on dragon warfare at some point in this series, okay? And not just an ice dragon, a weird zombie dragon fighting a regular dragon. I'm talking, you know, Targaryens on the backs of dragons, eventually killing each other, and there's tons of mischief and people marrying and killing.
We can expect every dragon to die, right?
When you think about it,
because that's the sad part.
Game of Thrones really is the show that embodies the game F, Marry, Kill.
Sometimes all with the same person.
Why not?
That is true.
Yeah.
That is
and often that person is a relative.
Yeah, that's true. A blood relative.
It's a blood relative. And I think there's a lot of that in this this one. He's married to his niece.
Yes.
Yeah. Tyrion Lannister, F married, killed his Shay. Right?
Oh, that's true.
Justice for Shay. F's in the chat for Shay.
F's in the chat for Shay.
But yeah, I don't know how much more detail we want to get into. Eric will have a great breakdown on the channel for this trailer, right? We're going to be, the show comes out in August, and we're going to be covering the hell of it.
Oh, you better.
Hell out of it. Both on the channel, New Rock Stars, and on our show here, The Breakroom. We'll be talking about it every week. We're jazzed for it. This summer, right, we get this show in August, And then I think just a couple weeks later, we get the Lord of the Rings Amazon show.
Yeah.
So if you like swords and magic and dragons and stuff like that, this is the late summer, early fall for you, my friend.
You better be excited about the dog days of summer and the free-falling days of fall.
My friend Florence once told me the dog days are over.
Yeah.
Okay,
so run back to your mothers, because Sunday is Mother's Day.
When did Florence Pugh say that?
Dashiell knows these references do not work in a live
That's a callback, baby.
Oh yeah, Dashiell did let us know that we've been getting the security guard's name wrong the entire show.
Yes.
It's JB.
JB.
Not JD.
Like the whiskey brand, not JD, like the bourbon brand.
Yes, I
You
remember
just
that.
made it more confusing.
Yes. We got some other questions that we can go through. Oh, we've got Kyle Howard. Thank you, Kyle, for saying, without you guys, I'd be uncultured and $25 richer. Keep it up, you guys. Thank you for the $25.
Yes.
And I guess you're welcome for the culture, my man.
It's our, hey, it's our pleasure.
Oh, pinkies up.
Pinkies up on the mugs.
There's nothing in that cup.
Pinkies up in my cup.
I like that Frey girl said, I'm rooting for the dragons, not the people. That is exactly the same boat as me. The same how I feel with, we're getting into something else.
This is something interesting. Santiago Rodriguez Munho. I'm terrible with the names. So taking into account that House of Dragons is like 200 years before, civilization seems pretty much the same tech level, like same weapons, same tools, all that kind of stuff, which that kind of mirrors true history. I mean, think about at school, right? Yeah. When you were learning about the Renaissance. That was 400 years that Renaissance took place during. Right. In your mind, it all gets collapsed into one tiny thing.
5 years.
The Industrial Revolution in our real life society really pushed up. Technology grows at an exponential rate, so it takes a long time for it to get going. Yeah. So unless someone in Westeros is building a difference engine to make the first computer, it's going to take a long time for them to get.
Nowadays,
really
I got to buy a new iPhone every year. This has been a Tommy tantrum.
Troy Odyssey.
I don't think we want to read it.
What does this say?
You can call me Papa Bear. Okay, Troy Odyssey. Thank you for the donation. This is some kind of king. You know what? No king shade here.
And by the way, option A.
I was going to say, I'd rather be beat to death.
It also makes sense that technology is not advancing a ton in Westeros.
Brandon's still on this.
Well, because they're sending some of their brightest minds to the wall to not procreate.
Well, brightest minds. They're also sending rapists and thieves and.
But some of their brightest minds wind up on the wall too, because they question things, right? They're questioning the way things work. And then the librarians, they all go to a tower and they don't get out of the tower and
they don't reproduce.
Yeah, and then the kingdoms aren't talking to each other and not sharing. Sharing knowledge.
So it's all a metaphor. They would be more advanced. Good point.
Yes. Really quick before you get to yours, a lot of people in the chat. We will get to it soon. They're saying check your Twitter, Tommy.
Oh my God!
How long do I have to leave that tweet up?
I think until just 24 hours.
Not 24 hours.
Just 24 hours.
Cool.
I have to delete my Twitter revenue.
I wanted to point out Dylan Callahan asking, thank you for the super chat. How do I get one of those awesome mugs? So this is actually a funny story. These mugs were made a few years ago, back when in the old school Rogue Theory set, big question set for fans from the pre-pandemic era. Remember those sets? We got these mugs made. The company that makes these mugs no longer exists. And it's almost impossible to find these mugs. So you can get different mugs on the Epic Hero Shop, but literally the 10 of these that we have are the only ones left in the world. So sorry.
And now that they know our location, they're going to come find us at Starbucks.
Burbank, California.
Stop saying it!
Hang a left at the IKEA.
Stop saying it!
Also, hi, Tactical Rhino. I have my glasses on today, so I'm not, you guys, I can read these screens. I can read what they say.
Let's say hi to some other people.
Well, Joel Ralston, he asked, hey guys, what do we know about the Werewolf by Night MCU Halloween special so far? That's even a contradiction, because we're all calling it a Halloween special.
Yes.
It is a Halloween special.
No one is
but it's not.
And they haven't really talked about it. They haven't given it a release schedule. I mean, that's coming up not too long. We know so much more about the Christmas special than we know about the Halloween.
Do you think it's going to lean scary or lean jokey?
I hope so.
I hope it's scary and not jokey.
What is scary for Disney Plus, I guess?
Man!
It kind of did scare me, and
I mean, I think scary would be seeing the transformation, an American Werewolf in Paris style, seeing the gross like body horror, right?
Well, would they
That's
do
scary.
it? Yeah.
Not scary is like man walks behind trees,
and goes.
moon comes out, man walk out, werewolf. Like,
And you know, it could still be pretty grisly. There could still be murders and stuff like that. It'll probably be off camera, it'll be implied, right? You'll only kind of see it in the edges of the frame, things like that. But I think they could. That's a fun challenge to make a really good PG-13 horror
Moon Knight
movie.
drowned a kid.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Hey, the Babadook was scary as hell, and I'm pretty sure that was PG-13.
You know what else was scary? Little Monsters. And I think that was like
Howie
G.
Mandel, that was pretty scary. He peed in the apple juice.
That's true.
It's disgusting.
He did.
Right.
Peed in the apple
Speaking of juice, we've got a super chat from our friend Film Juice.
They only want me for my film juice.
Is it worse? We're getting some interesting questions today. Is it worse to be disemboweled alive or frozen in glass and unable to kiss Oscar Isaac when he's right there?
I think the second one.
Hey, Breakroom viewers, are you guys okay?
It's because you asked for feet pics. They think they can.
I didn't ask for
We
feet
did.
pics, you made me.
We
asked
did
for
open the
feet
door.
pics.
We
You
did
got
open the door.
thanks.
You know
It's not
what?
my Twitter.
I don't think I'd like to be disemboweled. I think that sounds terrible.
Oh, brave.
Wow.
Brave.
Well,
You heard it here first, folks.
I think I'd rather be frozen in glass and unable to kiss Oscar Isaac.
What is frozen in glass mean? Like you get hot glass poured
Carbonate?
on you?
I
Carbonite
was
style?
imagining, I was imagining like
but
that.
how do you get inside the glass? The hot glass is poured on you and then cooled? That
Film
doesn't sound like
Juice,
physics.
could you send us another super
Or,
chat?
or like two
Film Juice, you got an infographic for this?
two giant pieces of glass. You get pushed together like you're in science class
Oh, like a
under a
bug?
microscope.
You get turned into the guy
Like a
from
slide.
Beetlejuice.
I put a lot of plankton in between that glass and watched it. Watched it like
Ronnie
a creep.
Roberts asks, hey guys, what do you guys think the chances of John Krasinski taking over the directing chair for Fantastic Four?
I don't know. Did he direct?
Both Quiet Places.
He did all the
did
Quiet
direct
Places.
those.
And,
So he can
oh,
direct.
well, no, he
I
didn't
don't know.
direct. He
He
just
doesn't have to
stars
direct
in it.
everything, though, right, guys? I mean, he could
He's
just
not directing
play.
everything.
also
He just
Mar-
directs two things.
Marvel has never allowed somebody to star and direct.
Oh, that's
Oh,
Now,
they're
that
probably
doesn't mean they never would, but they have not.
I still want him to be my,
Reed Richards?
yeah, my Reed Richards.
Mr. Fantastic?
This is what, if I was him, this is all I do.
And I mean, then you're going Emily Blunt, Sue Storm?
I do. I'm such a weirdo. Is that a weirdo thing?
Yeah, that's a weirdo thing.
I just like them. I think they're funny and quirky.
I bet you they're jerks in real life.
Oh, get out of here.
I'm just kidding.
I bet. Well, I don't know
kidding.
about him, but I don't know. English people tend to be a delight. I
Yeah,
bet
no, she seems
great.
very
People
nice.
tend
and
to
he
be a
seems very
delight.
funny and nice, too. I'm sorry, Krasinski Blunt family. I'm sure you're wonderful people.
Now that's some
Apologize to
good
Film
news.
Juice too.
Most of them are watching. Actually, Film Juice is a known nom de plume of John Krasinski.
Oh, no!
Yeah. And that guy shows up in everybody's chat asking about getting disemboweled. But
We assume it's a guy.
that's true. Film Juice, I don't mean to gender you. Apologies. Thank you all for joining us. I think this is going to conclude the break room for today.
Yes.
The fourth in our epic launch week.
In our 1,000 part franchise.
Yeah, this is gonna go 1,000 episodes.
That's right. Day 4 of 1,000. We promise it. We have to wrap because we're all going to see Multiverse of Madness after this show. 3 of us are going together. Jessica.
Some of
refused.
us are seeing it in IMAX.
Oh, speaking of IMAX.
Let me hold the poster since I'm
look what we
seeing
got
it.
sent.
Just walked him.
I'm the best friends of
Yeah,
IMAX.
if you've been watching all week, you noticed that was new in the background because this set is ever changing.
Wow.
The IMAX folks sent us a really nice poster.
Yeah.
Ooh.
If you've been watching the channel, you saw Eric broke this poster down.
And now we're gonna break it down.
And now we're gonna break it.
Thank you, IMAX folks. Yeah, and actually, I think the rest of us, though, we're seeing it in standard definition. Tonight, we're going to see it in IMAX later this weekend. And we are going to be talking Multiverse of Madness tomorrow.
Jesus.
We're going to be, okay, Tommy. Tommy's checking out Feed Pick right now. We're going to be doing a spoiler-free.
Yeah, tomorrow will be a spoiler-free chat here on the show. If you're showing up in the chat and trying to spoil stuff, we're not interested.
No
We're not
spoilers.
interested.
We're gonna send
spoilers.
you Feed Pics.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, Monday's episode will be spoiler-filled.
spoiler.
Okay, that's when all gloves are off on Monday. But tomorrow, we will be talking about Multiverse Madness, but in a very cool way.
Yeah.
To not ruin it for folks that haven't seen it yet.
Very chill.
If you gotta spoil something tomorrow, spoil us!
That's right. Drop them dimes, baby.
Real quick, just a quick yes or no. Do you guys bring notebooks into the movies? these movies because I always go and take notes, and everyone looks at me weird.
I have started doing it since I worked at New Rock.
Yeah, since you work at New Rockstars. Do you know?
I take a mental note.
Yeah. I always keep it all up here.
Yeah.
Okay, both of you.
And then I bug Eric. I'm like, what happened?
I go to the internet and go, synopsis.
Yeah.
Synopsis.
Eric will have seen it 6 times by the time we see it.
That is actually true.
He's way up on us.
He watched it for the second time today. You guys are going to love his breakdown coming out. Well, the ending explained comes out tomorrow on the channel. The breakdown comes out Saturday. Keep an eye out for those.
God bless him.
And join us next week. We've got big plans next week, including our first Friday the 13th celebration.
Is everybody going to make it on alive?
Not some of us. I hope.
I'll be right back.
Oh, God, the virgins usually live, so I guess I'm safe.
Thank you all for joining us today and for the last couple days. We appreciate you. Thanks for all the folks in the chat. Thank you for the super chats and the folks dropping a couple bucks in the tip jar. We love you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Adios.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Got it.